Welcome to Tucson, Arizona for the men's round of 16 action here at the Race for 8 Pro Season number 2. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink. It is Vic Perez up against Emmett Peixoto. Emmett, long-time top pro, elite level, made it to the finals of many tournaments, won a few of them, consummate semi-finalist at some of these major tournaments to include U.S. Open. We've seen him at the National Championships make it pretty far as well. He's been on the Pro Tour since about 17 years of age when he first qualified, and yet the last couple years he's taken a step back due to completing college and also having a rotator cuff surgery. And then we've got this new player, Vic Perez, who I believe a lot of the pros that don't know who he is are underestimating how good Vic Perez really is. We saw that in Salt Lake City last year, Dave, when he came in and almost defeated Alan Garner in his first round after qualifying. What do you think will happen here in this match? You said that you believe it'll be fairly easy for Emmett Peixoto.
Well, I think the score will make it seem like it was easy, but I don't think necessarily the play will be easy for Emmett. I think it'll be a very physical match. Both guys love to rally. Both guys move extremely well, and I think we'll see a lot of 20-plus shot rallies. But I think Emmett has a little bit more experience, and I think, Dave, when you have two guys that play a similar style, the guy that plays a little bit better usually wins pretty easily.
Well, the referee is now getting ready to get these guys started. They actually could have been on the court 15 minutes ago. There's 11 courts in this facility. Could have very easily have been warming up on those side courts and just stepped in to give us the action, but instead they warmed up for an additional 15 minutes on this show court.
Is that a finable offense?
It's certainly one that'll be reviewed. The players will not be fined, but they should know better as well. We used to have a court manager. Now we're going to have conversations with more people, which means more meetings and more conference calls, Dave, as you know, as we get
those are always very productive. Both these guys, Dave, living in California, Emmett in Northern California, Victor in Southern California. So I know, Dave, in the Big Ball Cup Series, you have a lot of a great serve there from Emmett. You have a lot of OC versus LA.
Point.
This is LA versus NorCal.
1-0.
Or you can say SoCal versus NorCal. But in reality,
Point.
Vic Perez is really
2-0
from that Alhambra Yosemite National Park area. So both of these guys from kind of Central
Point.
California area, Dave.
Well, Emmett's starting off with three beautiful serves in a row, and Vic didn't even chase down that pass shot. I think it came up off the back wall and make that 3 aces out of 4 serves and 4 very easy points for Emmett.
4-0.
The winner of this, Dave, will play
Short ball.
Charlie Shanks. You wonder, Dave, why Emmett would go to the serve down the right when he just won 4 easy points going to the left. Why go anywhere else?
Side out.
And Vic has kind of an unorthodox swing, but he's very effective.
Zero
he has
serves 4.
and a deadly right hand.
It's very interesting listening to Vic out in the audience when you have a chance to talk to him. He's virtually come from nowhere in a lot of sense. I mean, in the sense that
side out.
We've heard about him. We knew that he was in the collegiate nationals.
4-0.
On the pro scene, he just all of a sudden started playing handball and doing it very well in this 4-wall.
Second serve.
Pro tour of ours. But yet he knows the history of everybody. He, as a young kid, followed what Emmett Peixoto did. I believe he might have a little nerves here against a guy that he knows that was ranked #1 in the world at one point.
Well, he's certainly playing like he has a lot of nerves, but also Emmett is playing at a level we haven't seen since about 2008, just 5 points into this first game. Emmett's really rededicated himself, Dave, to the game. He came here on Tuesday to prepare for a tournament that started on Friday. He's been in these courts for 3 consecutive days, not including today, practicing, sparring, and just getting himself comfortable with this ball and these courts. Also the altitude. You see Emmett, Dave, also made a stop at
side out.
The Racket Shack, which is right next door to where you eat 4 or 5 times a day, picked up some tennis shoes. He knows that in these courts you need an outdoor.
All bad bounces except for on the serve.
You need an outdoor sole on these courts, as the gumshoe really doesn't work here.
0 serves 5.
He experimented with a few different types of shoes.
Vic looks like it's
like he's
really
stuck in the mud.
Yeah, out of the gate, it's
serve
very
0.
slow here.
And these are gettable balls. They're good shots, but you'd think Vic could adjust and make those gets.
Second serve.
After this shoulder surgery, Dave, I've noticed that Emmett has a reverse serve that he was experimenting before the shoulder, but anytime my shoulder hurts, the reverse does not work at all. It almost seems like you're going to hurt the shoulder more.
Well, he told the doctor when he put a new shoulder in to give him a reverse.
Emmett
So the doctor said, so you don't want a new shoulder? You want the reverse of it? And he said, no, I want a reverse hop on my new shoulder.
Well, he didn't have it before, and now he does. This is the round of 16.
6 serve 0.
This looks similar, Dave, to what we saw with Alan Garner and Abraham Montiel, but those balls are coming off the back wall, and Vic's not even swinging at them.
Nice power fist right there from Emmett.
Side out.
Emmett was formerly ranked #1 in the world, and he did not have a fist shot. A ball that he would not use.
0 serve
or
7.
I should say a shot that he would not use, almost refusing to hit a ball with his fist. And now you see him use it a lot when he does those sidearm punches.
Like that shot from Victor. Victor has only hit 1 kill shot thus far in the match. He'll need to do a lot better, as Emmett will not give you points with hand airs or balls in the ground.
Nice pepper right there
Side
from
out.
Emmett Peixoto.
Most right-handers would take that
7 serve
back
0.
wall shot with their right, but Emmett takes it with his left, and that's something he's always done even
And a
before he had a bad shoulder.
Second serve.
It's interesting to see that one of the top players in the tournament, Alan Garner, is refereeing a round of 16 match here. I like to see it. It's interesting also. Dave, I mean, you do the broadcast while you're still in the tournament, and it actually has hurt your game, yet you are the 3 seed here. So maybe this broadcasting thing has helped.
0 serve 7.
Well, Alan Garner is one of the few guys in the top 8 that's kind of accessible while he's still in the event.
Side out.
Most of the guys, Dave, in the top 8 are very much into their routine.
7 serve 0.
Which I believe is lying in bed all day.
It's a routine.
I think they do that anyway, even when they're not at tournaments. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry.
Zero serve 7.
Well, I'm sorry that you're not sorry. I wish you were, but you're not.
That's a very good shot from Vic. Vic has a lot of upper body strength, Dave, and if you stand next to him, you see that he's very barrel-chested. He's incredibly strong, so if you drive balls right at him, he has enough strength to absorb the power and do something with it. What he seems to be lacking right now is mobility and maybe some flexibility. I'd like to get another Illity in there, Dave, but I just can't think of one. It's always best to get the hat trick. You want 3.
7 serves 1.
Well, we'll think of something here.
Well, it's too late. We only have a 3-second window to get a hat trick. And that's a beautiful shot from Emmett.
Replay. Sorry, late call. It's a screen.
But that time, Vic moving for a ball that I thought was down. And other balls, Dave, he's just let get away from him without making an effort. So maybe he's just getting himself warmed up here.
1.
Score is 7-1. Serving is Emmett Peixoto versus Vic Perez.
Second serve.
Look at that power, Dave, from Emmett. I think Emmett's hitting the hardest ball we've seen thus far in the event. Not known as one of the hardest hitters, but it seems like he's really laying into the ball, Dave, particularly with his left hand today.
2 serves, 8-1. Short.
There's that reverse. You see that ball break back a little bit.
Second serve.
I like that stand out toward the middle of the court on that lob serve, Dave.
Well, when Emmett was the #1 American, Dave, he used the lob serve almost exclusively.
Point.
That was a nice shot right there from Emmett, who powers that ball down the left wall. There's a timeout being called here. It's the Race for 8 season #2. The World Players of Handball in Tucson, Arizona, where Emmett the Rock Peixoto is going up against Vic Perez, both originally from Central California. Vic Perez breaking onto the scene last year as he qualified, and boy, he had a good season last year with us. Only played in a few stops, probably would have had more ranking points, and certainly could be one of those guys that can, you know, do some serious damage if he plays in every one of the stops, Dave.
Well, Vic's first stop was in Fresno, where he did not qualify, and then he went on to really explode as he took out Charlie Shanks in Salt Lake City after qualifying there.
Right. No, there's no.
And then lost in the round of 16 at the LAAC, and that's why you see Vic with enough ranking points to put him, Dave, in the top 15.
Short. Second serve.
Emmett is one of the few players, Dave, that will use the same serve on his first and second serve.
And I'm surprised you don't see more of that.
Side out.
Dave, that there's not that much downside to double faulting. You see it in tennis a lot, players with 4 or 5 double faults in a match. But if you're going for your second serve, it's better, Dave, than to just put a second serve in play where you're going to lose the majority of points by giving your opponent a setup or an opportunity to drive the ball. So we'd need, Dave, an economist here, someone that really understands probabilities. How many points are you winning by just putting that second serve in play? Probably about 30 to 40%. If you go for your second serve, you hit 3 or 4 double faults, but you're also winning over 50% of those points.
And then
I think in the long run, you're better off just going for that second serve.
And then how many do you get on aces on your serve?
Well, that's all part of winning the 50% as opposed to winning 30 or 40% with a weaker second serve. Because it's almost, Dave, as a handball player, you go in there on a second serve and you almost don't even expect to win the point.
3 serves,
your
9.
mentality is even different.
Perez now at 3-9, and we'll be at this camera angle for about 5 minutes as we reset the computers. Look at that nice kill shot right there from Vic Perez. Just flattens it out on the front wall.
Well, Dave, Vic Perez is very much unfazed by a poor start or anything that happens in there. He's one of the most calm people that I've ever met. And I've seen Vic Perez, Dave, trailing 12-0 and come back to tie the score at 15. I mean, this is just what he does. And he does it so methodically. And you can't tell the difference between Victor when he's down 9-0 or tied at 9, or on a comeback or on a bad streak.
Score here is 5-9. Disregard the scoreboard for a few minutes.
That's a nice swing from Emmett with his right hand. Best swing we've seen from him, Dave, since before his surgery.
And Vic still almost got it and then was mad at himself because he gave up and the ball landed on his hand. It's a very fast ball.
And Vic is in position again to make that pickup, but a very good back wall left from Emmett.
10 serves 5. It's a point.
And that's the Emmett Peixoto we recall from back in Seattle in 2008. Going for those corner overhand tomahawks and playing very aggressive up front.
Replay.
He knew that he was going to get hit by that ball.
He tried to jump over it, but Vic lifted that a little bit higher than I think he was aiming. But you see, Dave, Emmett's not one of these guys that hits the revolving door serve and then starts backing up and taking away your shot. He'll stay there on the right side of the court, so you've got the left alley.
Point.
And now Emmett, Dave, already with his 6th ace here early in this match.
12 serves 5.
Or as Yogi Berra would say, it's becoming late early.
Well, I thought we were going to see a timeout from Vic to break momentum because Emmett's on a nice run here.
Emmett just driving
Point.
balls overhand with his right. Almost like a volleyball spike type of swing.
13 serves 5.
Shows you that he's got a lot of confidence in that rebuilt shoulder.
Side out.
Emmett actually lets his hand get underneath that fly kill shot, and that's why the ball lifts up and gives Vic the back wall setup. You have to keep your fingertips parallel with the ball to keep the ball down, and your elbow also parallel. When you find yourself getting underneath the ball, you're almost better off just paddling it and resetting the point, because you're not going to be able to shoot from there.
Unbelievable how Emmett's able to pick up both of those shots up there. That's why he's noticed, Dave, as one of the guys that is a get artist of all time. I mean, Vic made 2 incredible shots, and Emmett was able to get his hand underneath both. One was sort of a mishit that won the point, but that's what happens when you keep the ball alive.
Well, Emmett has the ability to not only make gets, but re-kill the shots that you thought were kills.
I think Vic's going to realize you can't hit balls to Emmett's left hand. I mean, he has so much power with his left. Emmett also does that sort of straight into the front wall and let it hop away into side walls, a lot of 2-wall passes with that left, and tons of power inside out.
14 serves 5.
I think Emmett's one of those guys that was born right-handed but has really converted into a true left-handed handball player.
Second serve.
He does all the things that you want to do with your right with your left.
Except serve.
Except for serve.
Replay.
But a lot of players that have the opportunity to serve left-handed might not necessarily do it because they like to be twisted to the right, serving to the left. So it's easier for them to get to the ball on the right wall on the return. If you're left-handed, serving to the left, then you have to turn your body all the way around to
5 serves 14.
use your right in that front right corner. And I think that's the reason why Emmett and also Alan Garner don't switch around left-handed.
Emmett's had a lot of success taking the ball on the way up with his right hand and driving the ball down the walls from cross court. And that time, a hard paddle kill.
14 serves 5. Short. Sorry. Hit the line.
Emmett finishing 7th at the U.S. Open last week. He lost to
We don't have line judges.
Paul Brady, then Alan Garner.
Second serve. Take a break.
And we have the halftime 3-minute break. We'll be back in just a bit for the second half here. You stick around as Emmett Peixoto has the lead 15-5 for Dave Fink. Dave Vincent will be here in about 2 minutes at racefor8.com.
Started the U in 73. You guys already gotten out of here. Oh, yeah. I didn't go to college right after high school. Track. Wrong with that. Well, traveling too complimentary. All over the world. Mainly Europe. Europe is about every one of the states. With the performance group. A little bit of here, a little bit of there. And that feel like it's too easy, or they feel like it's okay?
I'll let you know.
Okay. And this,
It's a little lighter.
okay. Okay. Trevor's coming into town for homecoming. And his buddies, they still get together and go to homecoming every year. Hope it's not raining. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. Oh, it says so. Yeah. Sorry, I marked it wrong.
We are back for game number 2, excuse me, I should say second half of this one-game match at 25.
5 serves 15.
With Vic Perez serving at 5-2, 15. He got kind of
Short
close
ball.
there, Dave, when it was about 5-8.
Serve.
As he made this nice comeback, and then Emmett went on a tear, a 7-0 run.
Well, he started the game on a 5-0 run, and then he's now on a 7-0 run. Vic has shown
serves 5.
flashes of being able to compete with Emmett, but hasn't been able to sustain that. And now coming out after halftime, Emmett quickly with a side out and quickly with a point. Not what you want if you're trailing 15, now 16-5.
That's a good serve right there from Emmett. If he can keep that ball over the line.
Second serve.
You know, another thing, Dave, is that Emmett is completely
side out
flexible. And when you see there as Vic hit that ball right at Emmett's feet, Emmett was able to contort his body and get the ball right back to the front wall. Most other people would have been hit by the ball. 5-16.
Well, he's a contortionist.
Side out.
Really looks like, Dave, he has the eye of the tiger that we haven't seen from
16 serves 5.
And you know, Dave, even though Emmett is relatively young, he's been playing pro handball for so long, he went through a spell, I think, where he wasn't that motivated. He was injured. He was doing other things. And when you're playing pro ball for 10 years, Dave, it's not surprising that would happen. But it looks like he's re-energized and revitalized. I mean, remember, Dave, he almost made Seattle and then didn't even go to the 4-wall nationals, which was just about a 3-hour drive for him. Just lacked the motivation.
Vic Perez hits so many corners that finally, eventually, one hits a crack. Emmett dives in, unable to get it. Vic says to Emmett, sorry. Was this a mishit? Party ball.
5 serves 16.
There's not much you can say to your opponent, and I know that when you play, Dave, I hear you say the same thing when it's a mishit. I'm sorry.
Well, this morning I played one of the chattiest guys in the game, also one of the nicest. And also, Dave, and this is the hat trick 3, I believe a rising star on the Race for 8 Pro Tour, Anthony Celesto. I know you may not agree with me, Dave. You think he's just another pretty face. But I'm here to tell you that he can play some handball also.
That's a point.
Vic Perez, Dave, is also another pretty face. Went out for yogurt last night with Vic and a couple of the other guys and A girl, Dave, left her number
17 serves 5.
at the reception desk or at the cashier for Vic to call her.
How old was she?
I believe she was a LA transplant.
Side out.
Emmett just, after hitting that ball, just stayed on that left wall saying, I know it. Vic's going to put it away, and he did.
5 serves 17.
It's actually a smart play. You're not going to win the point from there anyway. He's either going to make it
Side out.
or not.
I think Vic will eventually learn once this is over and he watches it on video not to serve to Emmett's left over there.
And to put on mute.
And to put the mute button on, so he's probably already done that, and he didn't hear any of that advice.
Oh.
He already took it.
Okay.
17 serves 5.
Well, certainly love to welcome in those watching
Second serve.
on demand. I know there's going to be about 5 of you.
I was going to welcome in all the
Point.
lip readers, since I know the volume's not turned up.
18 serves 5.
How
Sorry.
Emmett's able to get to that ball.
There's a replay on the first one.
I believe, Dave, that we will see an upset in Emmett Peixoto's round of 8 matches. He will take down
18
Charlie
serves
Shanks.
5.
That would be a big upset the way Charlie's been playing.
Well, Dave, if you look at the history of Charlie Shanks, he has not been dominant or even a threat with this ball. He's coming off the U.S. Open, where we remember last year he made the U.S. Open final and just went into a tailspin for 5 consecutive events, losing in the first round of 4 of them. And remember, Dave, he had to spend an extra week in California after the U.S. Open because the flights were all canceled in New York. He went back to New York, didn't have power all week. Now he's flown back across the country with a new ball, tired legs, and probably a lack of motivation. And Emmett Peixoto just the opposite. And don't forget, Dave, Charlie Shanks has only beat Emmett Peixoto 1 time in their 5 meetings.
Side out.
Well, that'll certainly
18
make
serves 5.
the next round more interesting. That'll be at 5 o'clock tonight, Mountain Time, 4 Pacific. If you're at home keeping score. Nice little inside out. Look to the left, hit it to the right. Paddle shot from Vic Perez.
Those are very effective shots because even if your opponent gets
18.
to it, when you're changing direction, hard to do anything good with it.
This ball stays up, doesn't it?
Well, when it hits the sidewall, it checks up and comes out at 90 degrees, so it gives you a lot more opportunity to make gets, as opposed to a softer ball that catches the sidewall and sort of slides away from you, taking away a lot of the get ability for these top pros. So that's why you do see a lot more rallies, longer rallies, because of that. I do believe, though, that this ball stays down quite a bit more off the back wall when you hit the ball well. Harder to hit cracks, though, and keep the cracks down with this ball, I believe, compared to a lighter, softer ball. There's certainly tremendous differences, Dave, and when you're used to playing with a soft ball and you've trained your brain to react to the ball coming off the side wall where the ball slides, and then you play with the hard ball where it comes off at a sharp angle, literally at 90 degrees, you know it's going to come off at 90 degrees, but your brain is telling you that you have to play for the ball to slide a little bit, and it really gets you off balance, and it forces you to hit a lot of shots that aren't nearly as good as you would like. I think it's just a matter of adjusting to it, though. Players need probably 2 to 3 weeks and maybe 1 or 2 tournaments to really make that adjustment.
6 plays, 18.
Vic Perez serving here. It's a 1-game match to 25, win by 2.
Side out.
Vic and Emmett got a little close there, but
one of the few times that they've been congested.
No call and no complaining.
18 serve 6.
In fact, Emmett was going for the crack there.
And that's the first time Emmett's missed that shot. He's been very effective with that overhand right tomahawk. I think he changed his mind there. In the middle of his swing, he was going to go down the right, and then at the last moment, he chose to go down the middle. I believe, Dave, one of the reasons Paul Brady is so good is because he's so decisive. He determines what shot he's going to hit, and he goes for it regardless of where his opponent is.
That's a point.
I don't know why Emmett would even look back.
Very strange.
That ball was so far away.
Yeah, possibly. Might have been
18.
screened because he really didn't have a chance at that.
You notice now, as we watch this a lot on video, that players are really putting themselves into bad positions, and then they look back for screen calls from the referee. And that's not a knock to Emmett or any other player, really. I think we just all do it. It doesn't seem like it when we're on the court, though, Dave. But when you look back here, you're like, what are you even thinking? But certainly, he just didn't see the ball at all.
Well, a lot of times players are playing for the two-way shot, so they put themselves on your left hip. So if the ball does go down the left, you're in good position. But if it goes back down the right, you can call for the hinder. So that's something that a referee needs to really look at closely. I know all of our referees, Dave, are trained very carefully. There's seminars. And that'll be one of the things that we'll address this year. Last year, I believe, Dave, that one of our seminars did a tremendous amount of good in eliminating that avoidable hinder on the revolving door from the server. And we'll have to address that hinder call as well.
That ball short.
Side out.
I believe, Dave, what you're seeing right now from Emmett is a lot of preparation really paying off, because Emmett's used to this ball and these courts. He's been here practicing with this ball on courts. You can see him very comfortable with the ball coming off the sidewall, as opposed to some of the other guys that we've watched who aren't anticipating the ball coming off the sidewall nearly as well, just because they haven't played with it. Now, we saw, Dave, a similar situation in our last match with Chip Morales trailing 18-10 against Jonathan Iglesias, and Chip came back
9 serves 18
to trail only 21-20. So it is possible. We haven't seen many signs from Victor that comeback is upon us. Victor really hasn't found a serve that's been effective against Emmett. He's served to the right and had balls killed right in front of him, and now also served to the left and had balls killed right in front of him.
That's a point. (19 serves 9). Point.
And that's why Emmett uses his left there, because he's able to box Vic out and pin him against the right wall. Doesn't have to hit that great of a shot to win the rally, as opposed to with his right, he would have given Vic court position and would have had to hit a perfect shot.
That ball hit Emmett on the way up.
Check ball.
Being replayed.
20 serves 9.
Short ball. Second serve now coming up. This is the end of
second serve.
The round of 16.
Actually, Dave, there's one more match in the round of 16, and that's Andy Nett and Nick Horniak.
Haven't seen the Minnesota Dreamboat yet. Now, I know how you like to put nicknames on these players. Let's just really briefly try to give those that are watching back home and keeping score a little rundown. Luis Moreno, nickname?
The Natural.
Okay, let's go down to Shorty, oh, excuse me, Mr. Ruiz.
Well, would be Shorty.
Okay, sorry. Abraham Montijo.
The Roadrunner, TRR.
Okay, the Roadrunner. Alan Garner.
The Blonde Bombshell.
Let's see how well you know this at home. Emmett Peixoto is?
The Rock.
Vic Perez.
Vin Diesel.
The D's. All right, Vin Diesel. That was made up on the fly.
Vic Diesel, actually.
Vic Diesel.
Vic Diesel.
Dan Armijo.
The Hand.
Okay, so far you're doing really well.
Okay.
Charlie Shanks. Now he's got some nicknames back home.
Okay.
But
he doesn't officially have one yet on this tour.
Okay.
I don't know if I lose a point there. He just has not yet been nicknamed. That could be a loss of a point. We'll go to the judges there.
There is. As we're back into play here. That was halfway down the draw. We still have more to go.
Okay.
That ball was
That
short.
really wasn't even close. Oh, okay.
I was really enjoying that game. I was doing so
Second
well.
serve.
Okay, here's a good one. David Fink.
Well, I don't self-nickname.
Okay, but
It's a
what is
point.
the nickname that has been used the most often?
Well, I've heard
22
DF
serves
and I've
9.
heard the gentleman.
The gentleman is what it is. That's good. Gentleman Fink. Andy Celesto. Excuse me, Anthony Celesto.
Second serve.
TTH, the teen heartthrob.
Okay.
And no, he's no longer a teen, but he's a heartthrob
For
to all
teens.
teens.
Okay.
Or teens. Similar to a Justin Bieber,
It's a point.
who is actually a teen, but will still be a teen heartthrob even when he's in his 20s.
Emmett
23
Peixoto
serves
playing
9.
really good handball here right now.
Short ball.
As we go down the list, John Iglesias,
Churches,
Eddie Morales,
Second serve.
the baby.
or Chip.
That's true.
I'm going to actually give you a half loss of a point there.
Side out.
And there's a side out as now Vic steps in.
I can still get an A, though. An A is 93%, right?
90% or better.
Oh.
9 serves 23.
A minus.
Okay. A minus to me is an F. I want an A or nothing.
Well, I think we should stop this quiz then because
Actually, I need that last point.
Andy Net.
The Minnesota Dreamboat.
Side out. 23 serves 9.
Hold on here. 23 to 9.
Short ball.
Victor Espinosa.
Second
Well,
serve.
he's actually not a qualified pro. Doesn't have one.
Well, we're running down the top 16 here, and so
the top. You're only a pro if you're
That's a
getting
point.
paid.
he's getting paid in ranking points. As now we are at game point. Nikolai
Match point serves
Nahorniak.
9.
The man-child, TMC.
Ooh, you've been waiting for that. You have 3 stars out of 16.
Emmett tries to end this match with a tomahawk kill, but he'll have other opportunities, and it could be right here.
Looks like nope, ball stays up. Emmett goes big ball. Little contact, no call. Little scoop from Vic now.
Speaking of big ball, Dave, I believe if you see some of the top 4-wall guys transitioning to 3-wall big ball next summer, you will see a traditional 4-wall player as an amazing get there from Emmett. You will see a traditional 4-wall player in the top 4 in the Big Ball Cup standings.
And there it is. Emmett Peixoto takes down Vic Perez. And that ends that match, 25 to 9. Vic looked a little tired toward the end of that one, Dave, as we now get ready for the man-child up against his counterpart, MDB, Minnesota Dreamboat, as we now know every single one of the nicknames of the top 16, and we appreciate your help on that. Nikolai Nahorniak, better known as Nick Christopher, up against Andy Net from Winona, Minnesota. That'll be up next. You stick around as Emmett Peixoto now advances to the quarterfinals. He will face Charlie Shanks at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. We'll have more handball in just a bit. Stick around here at racefor8.com.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.